Hey guys, I've been working on some things here in the last couple of days and trying to get a light set up for my for the fishing and for any work I might need to do just for what I do around the shop. And I didn't record any of them because I don't like to do something if it's the first time I've done it and I try to do it. And if it really messes up, it's just a waste of film or a waste of video time. So I don't bother with it. That doesn't mean that there's not been some bloopers, and that doesn't mean that you probably wouldn't have liked seeing some bloopers. But that's not the way I like to work. So I'm going to give this thing a little while. I'm going to show you what I've been doing, and I guess, well, let me just take you around and show you a little bit about what I'm doing here. What you're going to see first is going to be the initial cart that I made for fishing. So, because a lot of the places I like to go, they're off in the boonies. So, yeah, excuse my messy shop, but that's I work in the shop. So here's to give you an idea about what that looks like. Okay, so anyway, I didn't have to run back and forth to the truck to get this thing fixed up. Well, my dear sweet wife, she knew I was struggling with carrying all my stuff. So she went and got me one of these little garden carts. Now these little things, if you know anything about them, they're a dream come true. Let me get you a picture of that. There you go. Now you can see it's got 6 rod holders, 3 on each side. I've had some 1/2-inch PVC, and these are some of my cheapo depot rod holders that I can just drive into the ground with a hammer. I can fit 3 of those on there. What you see here is a bucket. This bucket has my light system in it. I've got 2 bar lights here. These 2 poles that you see on the front, they can either take the lightweight rods and reels, the short rods and reels, and the other 2 behind those will take the longer ones, plus all of that space inside there that I can tote whatever I need to tote. I can even put a couple of seats on there, and I wanted to show you those. Well, let me work my way around here. There they are. This was another thing that my wife got. So let me get these set up and I'll show you. Okay, these are just little fold-up seats. They're not chairs, but they do fold up, and they've got a little pouch on the side. You can put whatever in it. And not only can you sit on it, but you can flip it over and you can put it down on the ground, or you can put it on your floor. And if you need to have a knee pad, you can go down and you can put your knees on there. And you've also got these little arms here to help get yourself back up. Great for old folks or young folks. But these things work out real handy. They're real easy to carry around, real easy to store. You just fold right back up. There it is. Now, let's go back over here. I know this is jumping around a lot. Let's go back over here to the wagon. Now I've got 2 of these, but I can fit 2 of these in here. Probably should have brought the other one. That, or I can, this was another little, this is another little deal. I got these little got these little chairs. Okay, now this is the other thing that I did with this chair. I put this little piece of wood on here and I attached it to the frame of the chair with a clamp, a pipe clamp. Drilled a hole through the pipe itself. There's a hole here, and I stuck a bolt through there, and then I attached it with a wing nut. So with that wing nut, I can loosen it or tighten it, whichever I need to do. And this can fold up, be out of the way. I can take this up, undo this little chain, put it off to the side, and it's ready to store away. Now, whenever I want to put the fish, I can set this at whatever angle that I want to fish at. So like with that, all I do is slide that in there, and that's it. Now what's attaching this is just a little brass hook and a brass eye bolt to the piece of wood, and then a little eye bolt here, which I had to trim off on the back because I didn't want it messing up my rods. So the wagon can carry the chairs, and it can carry these little stools. Let's see how this fits. I haven't put this together since that's going to ride pretty good right there. Now I've got the rest of the front end of this to do whatever I want. I can put my rods and reels there in the back. Just like so. Just like so. Now, and then put, you know, I use a backpack to carry my stuff. Here's my backpack. I will usually carry a minnow bucket for bait. I'm using live bait. And of course, last but not least, I have my camera equipment in my satchel. And this is where I keep my camera. This is where I keep whatever else I need when I'm videoing. And that's it loaded up. Now this thing pulls like a dream, guys. I mean, it pulls like a dream. Now I'm going to go ahead and set up something else here that I want to show you, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to just show you the system that I had. Now this is what I had all put away in the bucket, and also have a tripod that is adjustable that I was working on today to try and get the full benefit of it. Now these lights that I have are bar lights. I paid like $26 for these things. I mean, they're not high dollar, guys. I'm a low budget guy, and I just do what I can. And on top of each one of these is a camera. Up here, I have my GoPro. Over here, I have an old 3G phone, but the camera still operates perfectly, as well as the one that I'm videoing with right now, which is my i6. And these all are attached. I had to fabricate places to be able to put them on there with the GoPro, and to do the 1/4" 20 tripod mounts to get them both to work on there. But the neat thing about these is each one of these will adjust. Let me see if I can get this to where I can set it somewhere where you can see better. But these are friction mounted. Friction is what I use to change the height and the height on them. All it is just a 1.25 inch tube, 1 inch that slides inside. I drilled a hole, put a bolt in it, tap the pipe out to the fork size of the bolt I was using, and then I have a wing nut that is attached to that bolt, and that way I can turn it right or left. Same thing right there. I don't know if that's focusing for you or not, but it's the same thing right here. On top, I have the GoPro sitting on top of this one. On top of this one, I have an old 3G phone, still works fine. So I use it as a backup camera. Now I'm going to kind of demonstrate how this works. I just loosen this little nut, and I can raise it, and it's locked in. Plus I can adjust, because these are adjustable legs, I can adjust it to the contour of wherever I'm setting up. So, okay, one of the things about this this setup on this light bar that I put together. Now this bucket, I've got another piece of wood, about a 2x down on the bottom of it, fit to the contour of the bottom, and I used a Forstner bit to get the size of this 1.25 inch, and just put it down maybe a 1/2 inch into that 2x. That way it'll stabilize it down inside there, so it's not running back and forth. And again, this is 1.25 inch PVC, schedule 40. 1 inch schedule 40 is what I used here to go into that. And then I took a 4-way, excuse me here, I'm shaking all over the place. A 4-way to be able to attach these two arms. I did that on both of these light bar setups. Same exact thing. The only difference is that I used a different tripod and mounted it to the mounted that 1.25 inch to it. So that's for the adjustable. What's cool about this is that on that 4-way, I had the ability to just take that whole thing off, and it just fits down in that plug. And then inside there, I drilled a 1/4 inch 20, put a screw in there, and then mounted my tripod mount to it. And that way, I can just set it up here on top and fit it down into that 4-way. Now these arms have these screws here on each side, and that's on both of them. You got a screw right there, and then there's one down there, so that this light bar, the light bar here will fit on it in those slots on both ends. Okay, so that's what hangs the lights. I also added some well, you know what they are. Doggone it, just slipped my mind. Put a couple of hooks up here. These are for my little lanterns. So I can hang lanterns on there if I need to. That's still a work in progress. These little lanterns are really nice. I got those two of those. They're Vaunts. They were $14.99, I think. You get two for $14.99. Got them off Amazon. The same thing up here on this mount for the GoPro. It comes right off of there, and I can put it in my bag and store it just like that. I had a problem getting a mount for this thing to be able to mount it to for the tripod mount, because it didn't have it. So I just made one out of a piece of aluminum, and I did the same thing. I drilled it out, put a 1/4 inch 20 screw up in there, and mounted it, and then tapped out this piece of aluminum to where that would screw into it, and then of course the GoPro slid right into it. So that's a big plus right there. All right, I'm going to break this thing down, and I'm going to put it in the. I'm going to break this Hummer down, and I'm going to put it in the cart. I want to show you my cart. So I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, one thing I forgot to tell you was that this little T-bar here, this 4-way, it slides down on the 1-inch pipe, and it pops right off of there. The whole thing comes off. So that's a nice little feature that it's got to be able to put it up and pack it away. So I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Now you can see, now this is the bucket that one was sitting in. My 2 tops will fit down inside of it. My 2 light bars will fit down inside of it. I haven't put the vaults in there yet, but they will fit down in there as well. These little vaults are really kind of cute. They don't put out a tremendous amount of light, but they do put out some light. So those will go down inside of there, as you can see. Now what I did do was on this bucket, I went ahead and put a piece of backer board in here for the top to make it more rigid. And so that's worked out real well. The two stands each have the 1-inch pipe, which will fit into the rod holders or the stand holders. They'll fit down in that 1 1/4 that's mounted to the sides here. And so I've got that. I can pull that down into wherever I need to go. Let's see, what else have I got here? Let me make my way around. Sorry about that. Now this little bag right here has got everything, all of my camera equipment that I need. It fits right in there. I've still got some space for some other things. I could bungee on top of that. And I think that's it, guys. I think that's it. Let me run over here. I use a backpack. That's where I carry most of my fishing gear. I've got my 2 little seats. I got that where I can go. Back here on the back end, I use some 1/2-inch PVC, where I just got some really cheapo depot 1 1/4 pipe, and I just duct tape the crud out of it to some rebar, and I can just hammer those in the ground. I've got me some holders there, and I've got the little holders put on here. Now these things, all of these are attached with, at this time, and that may change. Right now they're all attached with those plastic ties. Let's see, and on this, I noticed that this thing can come open. So what I've done, I don't know if I can do this holding it, but what I've done here is I've just put a little bungee cord around it, and that's to keep that thing from popping open and doing whatever it does. So let me finish this thing off with my rods. Let's see, I'll get this one. Yeah, I don't know, I'll get this one. It doesn't really matter. But I can carry a lot of rods and stuff. You know, I get to carry all the rods I need to carry. And I kind of just put these, put these things in where the large ones are at the back, because they're going to stick out, or stick up the highest. If they're in the back, that's a little better. But that's pretty much it, guys. And this thing just wheels right around like it was nobody's business. It just gets on down the road. So let me see if I can get a back picture of it. That's it. So those are just some of the things I've been working on. There's the front view. Pulls like a dream. It's carrying the weight. I'll do some more things to it. The inside flooring, it's just kind of real thin grading material, and I'm going to put a piece of 3/8 plywood through the floor to kind of give it a little more support. But other than that, man, that's the cat's meow. I can go about anywhere I want to go with that. Like I said, you know, it's not gonna, I tried it out on rocks here last week. Didn't do real good on the rock, so I probably won't do that again. I probably won't do that again on the rock, but if you've got a fairly decent surface to pull on, those tires, they're, you know, they're pneumatic tires. They've got air in them, so they just pull really good. So that's kind of a long ways from my very first one, which was this. And this still works if I'm not going to carry a lot of stuff. It's just an old golf cart. Modified it, you know, was using some OSB board, and I had an 8-foot piece of this shelving. I just cut it to size, screwed it on with screws and these little clamps. Added some metal down at the bottom that'll support, you know, whatever I want to put into that. This extruded aluminum is what supports these on the back side, both shelves. 2 rod holders right here, and it's a real lightweight deal. It's easy to put in my truck. The same thing with the wagon. Of course, you can't load it like that by myself, but I can put the wagon in there and put all the stuff I need in there. It doesn't take me just a couple of minutes to load it up. But this is what I used. So if you get any ideas from it, great. You know, it just takes a little. You just have if you have a need, fill it, man. That's all you do. Half the fun of these is just figuring out how to put it together and get it where you want it. Now there's going to be more things, and you're probably going to be saying, well, how come you didn't put more how-tos in on this and so forth. I may go in and do more in-depth on this. It's pretty self-explanatory. You know, you just need to get your materials. The materials are cheap. You know, this cart here was given to me. My brother gave it to me. I already had all this other stuff, and I just slapped it together. And it worked real good. My wife got me the little wagon. I think it was like $69 on Amazon. They've got bigger ones, they've got heavier ones. Right now this is just perfect for what I need. She got the 2 little folding seats, the green folding seats. She got those from Amazon. I'm not sure what she paid for them. They're probably $20, $30 a piece. Maybe less than that. I don't remember how much they were. They weren't too high. The 2 lights, these 2 lights here, these light bars, those, you know, I got 2 for $26. The vault, the little vault lights that are down there, the little lanterns, I got 2 for $14.99. But most of the rest of this stuff, guys, is stuff I already had. Now I did buy some PVC pipe. I already had the 1 inch. I just bought some 1 1/4 and did what I did. This piece here, this came off of an old laser level, and I just modified it to where I could fit it together to do this. So there's nothing really genius about it. It's just you find what you need to do and you just do it. So anyway, that's all I'm going to do for tonight. I don't know that I'm going to publish this. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But if I can put this thing together where it's kind of cohesive and it makes some sense, maybe I will. Anyway, that's it for tonight. You guys take care, and we'll talk to you later.